So I got the most awesome news when I woke up this Monday morning, and that is Koei Tecmo decided to drop one big of a trailer for the new Atelier game called Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. And oh boy, I am so excited to share with you guys all the cool stuff that I saw in the trailers. But hey, let me introduce myself. Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays. Welcome back to another video, but this one's a bit special because this one is a trailer analysis for the new and up-and-coming Atelier Yumia. So without further ado, let's break this down. So let's start with the story. If you watched the trailer from last week's Nintendo Direct, it gave us only a tiny glimpse of the story. But now with this new trailer, we got a lot more info than before, especially when it comes to the story. And I feel like it has a more darker approach or melancholic feel to it than the previous Atelier games, and I personally love that. I won't sit here and say it's gonna be rated and mature kind of vibe. I don't think that's the gist of it, but it feels like the story is more of a focus, especially with the protagonist Yuma. Now Yuma's mother passed due to an incident involving alchemy. According to some of the dialogue in the trailer, it seems like alchemy has been kind of a taboo or forbidden thing in the past few years. Now my guesstimation is that all this alchemy being treated as taboo is most likely because it kind of implies that alchemy was the reason that this previous kingdom fell, called the Alabasan Empire. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Now in the trailers it says some unknown calamity befell on this empire, but to me it was probably done by alchemy in some sort of way. There's a lot of ruins of this once great empire throughout the land, and also some of its tech remains as well. But due to the destruction, alchemy is looked on as something that brings destruction. One line that hit the hardest in the trailer was, quote, "We avoid alchemy and do not attempt to understand it, all to prevent another calamity." This game seems to really hit home on the morality of alchemy and its uses. This was something I've seen in previous Atelier games, but it was never fleshed out, and in this game they're going to flesh it out. And I feel this game is going to let us know what it feels like when alchemy goes unchecked. I'm really excited to know more about the story, how they're going to handle this whole alchemy debate, and how it's going to impact the characters. Speaking of characters, that is our next point. Now, I personally really love to see this because in the first trailer, there was no characters and I was scared that it was going to be this isolated adventure. But in the newest trailer, we see more characters and I'm actually really excited because character interactions are the bread and butter of any Atelier game. Anyways, let's start with our protagonist, Yuma Ledesfeld. I probably mispronounced her last name. I am sorry, Yuma. As stated before in the story portion, she lost her mother due to an accident involving alchemy. And it was from this accident that she discovered her family are alchemists. Now, knowing the world and how they treat alchemists, she was probably ostracized by a lot of people. Her journey pertains to finding out what happened to her mother and what led to alchemy being sacrilegious in a way. She lives by what her mother said to her, quote, "Learn how to judge what is right by yourself," which is basically her mantra as she goes on this journey. Now I love Yumia. She seems more reserved and not as bubbly as the previous Atelier protags, and I actually like that. She is very headstrong and determined to see her goal completed, and I'm already rooting for her. I love her, and her character design is really cute, especially the little owl thing on her belt. That's adorable. She is shown to be using a staff, but this one also has a gun attachment to it. I find that really cool. It's like the best of both worlds. And for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna call it the gun staff, and she could use it for more than just combat. So I'm really loving Yumia and I can't wait to play as her in the game. But there's also 5 other different characters that they showed in the trailer. Now they are part of a group called the Aldous Research Team, which as the name states, they probably do a lot of research on the former empire. Now to start, we have 2 siblings, Victor and Isa von Deerer. Now Victor is Yumia's supervisor. He fits the whole typical knight character. Isa, on the other hand, is a bit more upbeat than her brother. Now the siblings come from a very influential family, and judging by the character designs, yeah, You could tell they come from money. The next character we're introduced is Nita Freedy. Now Nina seems to be more of a seasoned vet because according to her character history on the website, she has mercenary experience and she also uses pistols as her weapon of choice. Then we have Linja, who is the demi-human of the group. Not only that, we see different kinds of demi-humans in the trailer. Now Linja seems to be a very timid person. I like her blue hair. She's like me for real for real. But anyways, she uses her claws as her main weapon. Finally, the last character revealed is Rugter Ardit. My god, I am butchering names left and right. Holy hell. Now Rugter is a seasoned adventurer who likes to find treasure. Now his design gives me big mischievous character and morally gray guy. Plus he uses a scythe. Now for intermission time. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please hit that like button and subscribe and share it around so more people know about the awesome game that is Atelier. Now back to the video. Now on to the gameplay and mechanics. First, there is this introduction of dialogue choices. Now this is probably taking inspiration from Gus's other IP, Blue Reflection Second Light. Now I don't know to what extent these choices will do or how they would affect the entire story, but I love to see it. Now this seems to be sticking to its open world settings, kind of like they did with Rise of 3, but in this game there is a new tools to play with to help you traverse this big land. One thing I would like to note is that Yumia's staff or gun staff comes in handy when exploring the different lands, like shooting down different items or shooting down ladders to get to different places. And y'all, when I saw this, I was legitimately so happy because there is a clip of Yuna shooting something in the distance and then it automatically goes into your container. That means you don't have to go to it and pick it up. That is just such a good quality of life feature and it's probably going to make gathering a whole lot easier and faster. Alright, now adding on to the exploration, her shoes seem to be doing something because when she jumps or triple jumps, her shoes glow. And if you look really closely at her character design, the heel of her shoe looks like this little valve that you could open or close. It's really cool. Makes me believe that you could upgrade these shoes throughout your adventure so you could run faster, higher, and things like that. There's also zip lines, which was introduced in Atelier Rise of 3, and it essentially helps you get from place to place. Now, the coolest thing I saw was the introduction of a freaking motorcycle. Now, the motorcycle itself is probably something you have to make when you reach a certain threshold with your synthesizing. Speaking of synthesizing, that's what we're going to talk about next. The synthesis mechanic got a huge makeover. Now, I'm debating on which aspects are a good thing and which is kind of like weird, but we did get a look of the new UI, and with the different UI, there are some different mechanics and terms I need to learn. Now this is not a new thing. Every Atelier trilogy usually has a little something different to make it different from the other ones, and Yumia is no exception. Now the sad thing I would like to point out is there is no cauldrons, which is really sad. I liked it. I like the aesthetics of having a cauldron. But remember, this is all speculation. Instead, Yumia creates things by doing this little dance and having this flashy scene. Now for the nitty gritty of synthesizing, there seems to be this thing called alchemy cores, which from what I could see lets you modify an item once synthesized. I guess you could look at it as like a base. So if you want something with better quality, you'll use one of the bigger quality cores and so on and so forth. Now to be transparent, I don't know how the synthesis goes per se, so I'm going to try my best to describe it, but do know the game is not out, so I don't know really 100%. But from what it looks like, once you put a material, the core generates a shape orbiting around the core along with nodes. Now these nodes help generate traits and quality as well, depending on the material you put, of course. Now I want to focus on two of the terms that I saw, which is resonance and mana. Now with these two, I'm not exactly sure what they do, and hopefully in the future we get a more in-depth look on how the synthesis process goes. And since the synthesis is one of my favorite things about the Atelier series, I am really excited because it looks really cool, and not gonna lie, it looks so visually pleasing. But that's not all, folks. We did get a different type of synthesis called simple synthesis. It looks like an easier version of the synthesis process for creating common items, and it is shown when Yumia is on the field using some sort of pocket watch that lets her do some simple synthesis where you could create different ammo, important resources, probably healing items as well. Now this does require energy from what it looks like, which you can see on the red gauge shown in the bottom screen. Alright, now it's some battle time. The battles look so flashy, but let's break it down. The battles seem to be reminiscent of Atelier Rise's 3 battle system, which is very fast and dynamic, and it has this real-time strategy to it. So it doesn't really have action gameplay or turn-based gameplay. It's kind of a mix of both. And like any Atelier game, you'll probably be using a lot of items. And finally, the newest addition to the gameplay is the building mechanic. That honestly came out of freaking nowhere. I thought it was just this thing where you get to decorate your little area. No, there's a lot of things going on with this building mechanic. Now, I don't really know what it's used for just yet because the game seems to be this journey. So you're probably not gonna be in one place. So maybe they have you building different bases in different places. That could be the case. And there's a lot going to it because it's not just building a room or decorating it. You could actually build a whole place from the roof to the walls to the little granite things on the side. And not only can you use it outside, you could also use it for decorating inside. I am really intrigued on what they're gonna use this mechanic for. So that is about it for the analysis, but I do have some extras. Now this part is gonna be short, kind of like a rapid fire. Alrighty, first one. The official release date of the game is looking like to be March 21st, 2025. Let's hope and cross our fingers it's not delayed, and it's coming out on all consoles including the Xbox, which is wild. And honestly, the Xbox needs some love too. I'm not here for console wars, I just want everyone to enjoy an Atelier game, whatever console you're on. On a more sad note though, there seems to be no English dub, which boo, I want my money back. Not JK, but still boo. But at least the text is somewhat readable. There are these green looking people with goggles that look like a triangle, and holy cow, I want a plushie of that. They look very cute. Last thing is, hopefully this will be on the Switch too. I don't know the timeline on that, but that would be cool. But I do plan on getting the PlayStation 5 one and the Switch one. Overall, I am really excited and I cannot be contained on how excited I am. So that is it for the video. If you found it really helpful, then please share it around. And if you want to know more about the Atelier series, let me know in the comments down below, or let me know any theories that you guys have. The release of Atelier Yumia has gotten me really inspired to tackle the retrospectives of the other trilogies. So there's definitely going to be more Atelier content here. So if you're into that, then please subscribe. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. And as always, play a good game. Peace.